Hi, Steve's here. I wanted to kind of talk to you about something that I've been seeing. I've seen in quite a few designs and drawings that I think really could use some a little bit of explanation. It's just there's some the way people do things and the norm. I don't necessarily agree with it, so I just kind of wanted to give you my point of view, and feel free to comment and video response on it. It has to do with splicing. So when I have a long, that I need to create a long, piece of trailing edge. You really, it's making a 48 inch long piece of trailing edge is kind of tough, especially when most of the wood you buy is 36 inches long. Yeah, you can buy 48-inch long wood, but that's usually a lot more expensive. So typically, you just splice the two pieces together, and it works. What I keep finding in a lot of designs is, for example, here's a top view of splicing. Basically, it's a vertical view on the wing, and it's being spliced right here. Right, you have this quarter-inch trailing edge with a little bit of a 16-inch kind of laminated, but the splicing is done at an angle about 45 degrees, and you have about a, and the reason for splicing is that if you just butt join them, you really have very little glue surface. So the idea is that by making a cut which is a 45 degrees, you get more glue surface, and the joint, the splicing is stronger. So what I did is I actually took a piece of scrap wood, and I cut two pieces, and I cut it at a 45 degree angle to create to create the splice, and this is what it looks like. Here's what I don't necessarily agree with it. I do think that the splice is a failure. Joint is a failure point, so you really have to you're playing odds here of it breaking or not. If So, you really want to kind of stack the odds in your favor. You see this 45 degree, and yes, the surface is longer. So if I were to kind of show you what if I were to butt join and how much extra there is in terms of if you do it at a 40 degree. So you can see there's the surface is a little bit there's a little bit more surface to glue, and it's probably going to be fine, but it's really not a lot. The best way that I find is that always splice on the widest part. So instead of splicing at this kind of vertically, I spliced it horizontally. So here's an example, and as you can see, the amount of the glue surface is much longer, and it basically, geez, you can see how much more. It's about what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times longer more surface for glue. So you really can get a really strong joint. So when you looking to splice a piece of wood, two pieces of wood, always look at where your widest side, and see if you can splice it this way versus right this way. Right. Uh, it's just the odds of this much surface breaking off is really low. Um, yeah, you can improve it. Just make sure they match really closely, real tight together. And CA, they say that when you have a good CA joint, the wood around the joint will break before the CA glue. I don't buy into it that much, but yeah, I've seen it happen. But I like to stack the odds in my favor. The other piece is, you can see on if you could see it, this is a wing of a Yak 9Z that I'm building, wings on strings kit. Uh, a really nice kit, by the way. Um, so you can see that the splice takes place in the middle, in the center line. What happens is that I actually have little cut-ins that I have to make to hold the flap horn in there. This is the middle of the wing. This is where when the wing flexes, the aerodynamic forces. This is the center, kind of. This is the pivoting point for the wing. So this is the area where splicing may not. I don't think it's a good place for it. What I like to use is I like to splice as far outboard as possible, so I get a solid piece of wood all the way from the inboard out through the center line, through the center line and to the outside panel. So for example, here's I built one of these laminate trailing edges that the kit calls for, and you can see, instead of splicing it like the kit says vertically, I actually spliced them the other way because that's the widest point, and it recommends doing it. Here's the center line on my jig, and you can see that this is, yeah, it's good joint, but this is a 36-inch long piece of trailing edge. You can play with this, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shift the whole structure. So here's my, as much onto the outboard as possible. And what happens is that I have solid balsa around the center line. This is the center line. So as you can see, right, this is the jig where the trailing edge has been kind of built in. You can see it's all the way as far to the outboard as I can get with a 36-inch piece of wood. So this is the way I splice things, and find it useful. So let me know if you find this useful, or if you have a different opinion. Please respond. I'd love to hear your opinions. Steve's out.